Well, this is about as sexy as I get in the kitchen.
Go ahead, just pretend I'm not here.
So, the recipe... What? Dripping on the floor. Adam's gonna kill me. I didn't add the fucking flour. Hold on. Happy Raspberry Popover Day. Yes, it's a real thing. And so I'm gonna make raspberry popovers right now. So the first thing about this is that your oven needs to be set at 450 degrees or Fahrenheit, or around 230, 235 Celsius. And a really important thing is where you stick them in the oven. Hold on. So here's one of my ovens. And the important thing is that you want to bake the popovers on the lowest rack that you have. And then you want to put a top rack up here, and we're going to put a sheet pan up here. The popovers go in here and they grow, right? So obviously you don't want them ending up hitting anything. So get out all of the other racks that you might have in the oven. And then this one, we're gonna put a sheet pan on to shield them so that they don't get too brown while they cook. And the oven temperature needs to be super hot. So give it at least a half hour of preheating the oven, or it just isn't going to be long enough. Well, this is about as sexy as I get in the kitchen. So when I am baking or cooking, I love to weigh my ingredients, and I know that a lot of people don't like it, but I am not a confident baker, so I can't just guess. I have to measure everything, and so I really appreciate it when recipes have the measurements, the weights, because then it doesn't, I don't have to go through each and every ingredient and find out how much they weigh. Nothing drives me more batty when someone writes, a medium onion. What is a medium onion? What size is a medium onion? I mean, I came from California. We had huge onions and, things in between, but how do you measure that? So anyway, I like when there are weights involved. So I've measured out most of the things here. I'm just going to measure out the flour. How much do we need? 180 grams. A couple notes on the recipe and the ingredients here. One of the main things that makes a successful popover, I'm told, is that most of the ingredients are lukewarm. So we have melted butter that's warm. I microwaved that milk for about a minute, and I am soaking whole eggs in their shell, obviously, in warm water for 10 minutes. So the warmer these ingredients are when they go together and then finally go into the pan, should make a successful popover. Now, I am not an authority on things. I have made Yorkshire puddings before, and they were not successful at all. I've tried multiple recipes multiple times, and I haven't had any luck. Popovers are essentially the same kind of batter as Yorkshire puddings, but they don't have a bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. Usually you use meat drippings or whatever and heat that up in the bottom of the muffin pan or the popover pan, and then you put the batter in and get it in the oven. Well, popovers don't do that, so that's good, because I often find that Yorkshire puddings are kind of heavy and dense from that oil and grease. So there's nothing like that going on in a popover recipe. This is a popover pan, right? It's just taller and more narrow than a regular muffin pan. You could totally use a regular muffin pan, as the recipe says. I don't know. I'm trying everything I can to make this recipe a success. So I got myself a popover tin thing. We'll see how it goes. So the recipe calls for greasing your tin and also greasing the tops, because as the popover rises, it will fall on the outer linings here. And so you need to grease the whole thing, so you don't want your popovers to stick on the outside. I'm using Baker's Joy today. I use all kinds of things. I don't know. Baker's Joy is pretty good. I don't get a lot of problems with Baker's Joy. So that's what I'm using. And people are afraid of over spraying their pans or whatever. Listen, I worked in a commercial bakery. This is how you do it. It's thick. I was surprised as well, but I learned from a very good pastry chef that this is how it's done. Well, that was the last of my Baker's Joy. I don't think we can get it here in Ireland either. I think I had to order it on Amazon or something. All right. The recipe calls for doing this in a bowl with a whisk, which is totally fine. I just want to use the blender because I think it will aerate more than me doing it by hand. So we'll see. We'll see. So I'll get started. So the first things are, okay, beat together the eggs, milk, and salt. All right. Well, let's get to cracking these eggs. All right, 4 large eggs, and then the warmed milk. I'm going to put in the lemon zest and the little bit of vanilla. Give that a zhuzh, and the salt and sugar. And we're gonna blend this up real good. Do it at high speed for 20 to 30 seconds. Hold on, please. Okay, I think that will do it. And then the last thing we do before we pour these into a pan is stir in the melted butter. That is good. So you're supposed to fill these muffin tins like 2/3 high, I guess. Let's see, does it say? Yeah, 2/3 to 3/4 cup full. So I'm just gonna start putting in a 1/2 cup in each and seeing how that goes. Oh wow, that really worked out a treat. Dripping on the floor. Adam's gonna kill me. I didn't have the fucking flour. Hold on. So this recipe for raspberry popovers also includes as an optional a sweet butter made obviously with butter and either honey or maple syrup and a little bit of salt. Why would that be optional? I think that's a necessary thing. I might even throw a little raspberries in there. I don't know. But that sounds pretty good. So that's what I'm going to work on next.
Isn't that quite amazing? Well, they've popped. They have popped.
All right. So the 20-minute timer just went off, and the instructions told me to turn the oven down to 350 Fahrenheit, which is about 180 Celsius. And so I've done that, and they're supposed to cook for another 10 minutes or so. But I'll show you what they look like right now. Hold on.
Isn't that ridiculous? I mean, really, I think I'm out of overfilled. You think? Yeah. Well, they'll be fun. That's for sure. I don't think anyone has had anything like this, but we'll see. All in the name of celebrating Raspberry Popover Day.
Okay, these dudes have been in probably twice as long as the recipe called for. But they're so big. I definitely overfilled them. So I just want to make sure that they're cooked on the inside. I've stuck a skewer in them. Nothing comes out. Skewer comes out clean. I've searched and searched. I love taking temperatures of things. I have a thermometer and stick it in there and see what temperature it is. But I couldn't find one thing online that says, oh, a popover is done when it's 100 degrees inside or whatever. So I don't have that, but I'm gonna take them out. Gonna take them out and see what happens. Okay. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? Look at that. Oh my gosh. Well, they feel a little squidgy. So I'm not real sure how it's gonna go on the inside, but we're gonna go for it. So the recipe says toss them in granulated sugar, but hey, look, they're coming out. That's nice. Here we are. They're out of the oven. They're a little squidgy, like I said. I think they may be underdone, but let's have a taste.
Sorry, Sorry. Oh, right in the middle of your bite, too.
All right.
You'll just have to take another bite.
Yeah, they are delicious, but they are just a tad underdone. So I would cook them a little bit longer. Maybe in as much as 10 minutes, I think. But wow, really good. I'm gonna try this butter. It's like raspberry pancakes or something. Butter. It should not be optional. That's really good. Okay. I wish you a happy Raspberry Popover Day. Thanks for joining me.